Close your eyes and settle in. Tonight's story is called, Rules of the Subreddit. Please read before posting. Updated. 1000 word limit. Good night. Good night. All stories must be 1000 words or less. A story that is 1001 words, or 2 sentences or less, to distinguish us from r/2-sentence horror, will be removed. The go-to source that mods use to check stories is www.wordcounter.net. Be aware that formatting can artificially increase the word count without your knowledge. Any discrepancy between what your document says and what the mod sees on wordcounter.net will be resolved in favor of wordcounter.net. In the same vein, all of the story must be in the post itself, and not be carried on in the title of the story or in the comment section. All titles must be 10 words or less. Good night. Good night. In effort to curb clickbait/summarizing titles, titles are now subject to a word count limit. Titles must be 10 words or less, and can be no more than a single sentence. No links within the story itself. Good night. Good night. Stories cannot have links in them. This is meant to reduce distractions. Any story with a link in it will be removed. Promotional links in the comment section. Good night. Good night. Self-promotion can only be done in the comment section of the story. Authors may only link to personal subreddits. Links to sales sites such as Amazon or posts with the intent of generating sales are strictly forbidden. We no longer allow links to outside websites like blogs, author websites, or anything else. No tags in the title. Good night. Good night. There is no need to add tags to a post. This includes disclaimers, explanations, or any other commentary deemed unnecessary. Stories with tags will be removed and resubmissions will be required. We do not require trigger warnings here as other rules cover subject matters which may be harmful to readers. Additionally, emojis and other non-text items are not allowed in the title. Non-story text within the story. Good night. Good night. Just post the story. That's all we want. We don't need commentary about it being your first story, what inspired you, disclaimers telling the audience this is a true story, the end at the end, repeating the title, the author name. Anything supplemental can be posted in the comment section. Stand-alone stories only. Good night. Good night. No multi-part stories, no sequels, prequels, intercals, alternative viewpoint stories, links to previous stories for reference, or reoccurring characters. Anything that builds off of or depends on some other story you've written is off limits. This extends to titles overtly or implying stories are connected to one another. Fan fiction is not allowed. This includes using characters from other works of fiction under copyright. The story begins and ends within the 500 words or less you are allotted. All stories must be horror and /or thriller themed. Good night. Good night. We ask that authors focus on creating stories within horror and thriller stories. You may borrow from other genres, but the main focus of the story must be to horrify, scare, or unsettle. Stories with jokey punchline will be removed. We shouldn't be laughing at the end of the story. Stories dealing with depression, suicide, mental illness, medical ailments, and other assorted topics belong over on /r/short sad stories. However, this doesn't mean you cannot use these topics in your stories. There's a delicate balance between something horrifying and sad. If we can interpret the story as being scary, we will do so. Please note that badly written stories don't necessarily fall under this category. The story can be terrible, but still be focused on horror. No plagiarism. Good night. Good night. All stories must be an original work. Stories written by AI are not allowed. Stories must be submitted by the authors who wrote the story. Do not steal other users' stories. No fanfiction allowed. Reposts of previously submitted stories are not allowed. Repeat offenses will result in a ban. If someone can find your story somewhere else, it will be removed. This rule also applies to famous or common stories that you've merely reworded slightly. This does not apply to famous stories you've reworked considerably, such as a fresh take on a fairy tale or urban legend. The rule of thumb is that the more you alter the text to make the story your own, the more lenient will be. Rape/pedophilia/bestiality/torture porn/gore porn are off-limit topics. Good night. Good night. The intent of this ban is to prevent bad actors from exploiting the sub as a delivery system for their fantasies, which would bring the tone down, and alienate the reader base who don't want to be exposed to such material. We acknowledge that this ban throws out the baby with the bathwater, as well-made stories that merely happen to have such themes will get removed as well. But if we let in the decent stories with such content, those bad actors can point at them and demand to know why those stories get to stay and not theirs. Better by far to head the issue off entirely with a hard ban and stick to it. Stories implying rape or pedophilia will also be removed. Good night. Good night. The moratorium. Good night. Good night. Trends are common on creative writing subreddits. In an effort to curb trends from taking over the subreddit, we are implementing the moratorium. This is a temporary 3-month ban on certain trends which the mods have examined and determined are dominant within the subreddit. Which violate the moratorium will be removed. 24-hour rule. Good night. Good night. Authors must wait 24 hours between submissions. If your story is removed due to a rule break, you are still subject to the 24-hour rule. Deleting a post does not release the author from the 24-hour rule. Deleting a post and posting something different also does not release the author from the 24-hour rule. This is to prevent authors gaming the algorithm system, doing interest checks, or posting until their story is deemed successful. Exceptions can be made if the moderators are contacted before resubmission, and only if it is deemed necessary. For example, we'll allow a repost if there's an error in the title with no penalty. Exceptionally poor quality stories may be removed. Good night. Good night. We reserve the right to remove any story that fails to use proper grammar, has frequent typos, or is in general just a poorly composed story. This is relative, and we will use that right as sparingly as possible. Walls of text will automatically be removed. No obnoxious commentary. Good night. Good night. This includes, but is not limited to, bigotry/hate speech, personal insults, exceptionally low-quality feedback, antagonistic behavior, use of slurs, etc. Use your best judgment. Mod response will take the form of a spectrum ranging from a mild warning to a permaban, depending on the context. Incidentally, the lowest response we have to mod abuse is banning, because we quite literally don't need to put up with it. We reserve the right to lock any thread that veers off topic into some controversial subject, such as politics or social commentary. This is simply not the venue for it. Posts impersonating other subreddits. Good night. Good night. Posts impersonating other subreddit posting styles like /r/aita, /r/relationships, /r/advice, are no longer allowed on SSS. If there's overwhelming commentary about subreddit confusion in the comment section, your story will be removed. Links to author collectives with restricted submissions and /or curated content cannot be advertised on SSS. We've noticed authors posting links to personal subreddits and in the same comment section post a link to a subreddits for an author collective. Normally, these author collectives have restricted submissions and curated content while SSS is free and open to everyone for posting. It seems a bit rather unfair for these author collectives to build their readership off /r/shortscarystories. While we wish to allow individual authors to build a readership off their own work, we will no longer allow author collectives with restricted submissions or curated content to advertise on /r/shortscarystories. A few additional notes. Good night. Good night. If you have an issue that you need to address or a question for us, please contact us over mod mail. That said, mod decisions are final. Badgering or spamming us with messages over and over about the same subject will not change our minds, but it can easily get you banned. If you see a story or comment that breaks these rules, please hit the report button. This will help us maintain a tightly focused and enjoyable sub for everyone. Meta commentary and questions about the sub can be made at /r/shortscarystories. And that is where our story rests for tonight. Let your thoughts drift away, slow and easy. Good night. Sleep well.